You ever wanted to know how Liv Morgan went from working at Hooters to working in WWE? Well, here's the video for you. I'm going to tell you that and much, much more about Liv Morgan's pre-WWE career. Because Liv Morgan is on the hearts and minds of a lot of fans out there at a very interesting time in her career as she is pursuing another women's championship in WWE. And the journey to get here, just like everyone in life, we have our ups and we have our downs. We have our winning moments, we have our losing moments. We learn, we fail, we succeed, we find success. And Liv Morgan is a perfect example of that. And everything that I just mentioned will describe her WWE career in a lot of ways. From being overlooked in some instances to being completely forgotten about. I mean, if you look at 2023, she had a solid first half of that year only to be written off of television due to injury. But then, ironically, Liv Morgan, well, she got your attention. I know she certainly got my attention because when she returned at the Royal Rumble and competed in the Women's Royal Rumble match, she made a splash. She was able to draw back and really expand that calling from the fan base in WWE. Not just a Liv Morgan fan base, but the entire company's fan base. And she has since taken WWE by storm by doing her revenge tour on television. Of course, written off of television due to an attack last summer from Rhea Ripley. And then when she returned, she was on her revenge tour. She made it very, very clear. And there was little hints. There was little teases that we were going to get something big from Liv Morgan. And sure, it took several months to get there. But we had to get through Becky Lynch and we had to get through Rhea Ripley. And now Liv Morgan is in one of the best positions of her career. And it's ironic that this interview actually dropped around this time because of the parallels, right? From the starving artist on the independents, even to the Hooter days, right? And I get some people like Hooters, some people don't like Hooters. Personally, I'm a B-Dubs fan, all right? I like my Buffalo Wild Wings, yes, sir. But this was interesting and I wanted to talk about it. So, before I get into this, just a quick reminder. Do you think Liv Morgan dethrones Becky Lynch as Women's World Champion at King and Queen of the Ring? Well, I'm going to give you my prediction on the back half of this video. So, Liv Morgan, she spoke with Chris Van Vliet for a new interview. And she talked about making the transition from Hooters to WWE. So she said, so with a little backstory, everyone at Hooters knew I loved wrestling. I'd be doing my bar shifts. I put WWE on TV. I'd be serving with WWE on the TV, like every kind. I was new my thing. And apparently before my time, there was a wrestler, will not be named, that used to manage this specific Hooters. So anytime they came around in town, they would go to this Hooters. Me being the WWE fan that I was, I saw this wrestler come to Hooters. I knew who they were exactly, and I introduced myself. My manager was like, hey, we have this girl. She just loves wrestling, and because you're a wrestler, like, maybe you can talk to her. So I talked to this wrestler for a while, and I was like, I want to wrestle, and they're kind of like, haha, yeah. Kind of just spent all my time, all my wrestling knowledge to them. Then she continues. So they introduced me to this man, Joe DeFranco. He's a world-renowned strength and conditioning coach. He only trains professional athletes, and he actually trains Triple H on a weekly basis. So I went to his gym, and he threw me right in with the NFL guys. I never worked out a day in my life before that. I didn't even know what workout gear was. I think I wore some sweatpants and a sports bra. And he's like, go. And I was like, okay. So in my mind, this is a WB tryout. So I'm giving it my all and struggling through everything, but I wouldn't quit. And so he reached out to WB for me, and it was the nicest thing that anyone has ever done for me. So shout out to Joe DeFranco. He reached out to WB for me, and I was like, hey, we have this girl. I think she's worth a look. And I actually just missed the tryout camp. They were like, we have another one in 6 months, so keep training with her, and then we'll fly her in. Then I trained with Joe DeFranco every single day for hours a day. I trained with him in the morning, then I'd go to my Hooters shift. Then my trial finally came, and I was very prepared. Not in wrestling, of course, because I had no wrestling training. But as far as strength and conditioning, I absolutely killed those cardio drills, and I got signed, and it was the craziest blessing in my entire life. It was so bizarre. End quote. What a story. And shout out to her for taking the chance and being like, hey, I see an opportunity. This wrestler is coming in to this restaurant all the time. I just so happen to work there. I'm going to shoot my shot, and I'm going to try to get something going. And she did. And shout out to Joe DeFranco for not only changing Liv Morgan's life, but he also changed WWE's history, because without her, we wouldn't have got her and the women's championship reign that she once had. And we also wouldn't be able to experience what we're experiencing right now on WWE television, where she has taken the company by storm. We go from a Rhea Ripley, who is a heel going into Mania, coming out of Mania, and is one of WWE's biggest baby faces. Ironically, she put over Becky Lynch, who worked that WrestleMania 40 match with strep throat and a fever. It was Liv Morgan who was the one that injured Rhea Ripley in a backstage segment, put Rhea Ripley on the sidelines. And she's a huge babyface now. Liv Morgan did what Rhea Ripley did for her. We got a heel Liv Morgan doing some of the best promo work of her entire career. And we also have Rhea Ripley, who is one of WWE's biggest babyfaces and will be when she returns later this year due to injury. Now, was Liv Morgan slated to lose to Rhea Ripley for the women's world title if Rhea Ripley had not gotten injured? Yes, probably so. Although, who's to say, considering that Rhea has beaten them all except for Liv, and Liv was given a big push? That's a big what-if question. That's actually a question I'd love to know. So, if anybody asks Rhea or Liv, or maybe I can contact them, I'd love to know that answer, if there was even a plan. But now y'all, we're about to approach some great storytelling. Rhea Ripley, huge babyface. Liv Morgan, a hot heel. They're going to go at it, y'all. And I do think Liv Morgan wants out of King and Queen of the Ring as your new women's world champion. Now, I've pushed that they should do Liv and Becky as the main event, although I know that is not likely. Either way, though, I think it'd be a fun match. Fun match to headline that show in sweet Saudi Arabia. But let me know if y'all agree with me. Do you think Liv walks out as women's world champion? Do you think that match should headline the show? Let me know down in the comments area below. I'd love to hear your feedback. And with that being said, I will see each and every one of you in the next video.